You know, it is her resilience.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is really Mumbai's resilience that keeps me connected, and her cosmopolitan nature. Unfortunately, a lot of attempts are being made to take away that cosmopolitan the nature of Mumbai. ऐसी कोई चीज़ ही नहीं थी कि स्क्रिप्ट होती है. भाई राजेश खन्ना और मैं, we are doing the first page of the scene not knowing what the second page is, because that is being written by Qadir Khan in another studio. Youngsters today are doing extremely well. Really no dancing around the trees and all that. They're playing, I'm very proud of the fact that girls are playing substantial characters. They're leading.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Quint, and thank you so much for talking to me.
It's a pleasure.
I think thanks to Netflix and you guys, thank you for making this, and I'm very excited.
We are all very nice people.
I know. I think I wish the cameras were rolling much before.
Yeah,
I absolutely
then
loved
they
it.
would have got something.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah, you guys missed out on that, yes. You know, Dabba is such an integral fixture to the city of Mumbai, right? It's so somewhere deeply, largely woven into the fabric of our city as well. It becomes like another character to the show. So when you think of the city, and if I had to ask you, what is that impactful impression it's had on your lives, personally and professionally? What could it be, the city of Bombay?
I grew up in Australia, and
Right.
you know, there wasn't a lot of representation or an opportunity for many brown faces to work in the industry, especially in the 90s or early 2000s in Australia. I just accepted that this wasn't an option career-wise. With my travel to New York and with the Indian channels that I worked for, I realized that, okay, I need to go where the work is. It was a big part of why I moved to Mumbai in the first place. Mumbai represents the start of my career for me, actually. It's also such a big shift because when you grow up in Africa and the UK and Australia, you never think that you are coming back to the motherland to live. My parents were part of a generation that left for a different life. And now we've all come back to India and we all live here. It kind of represents a homecoming in a sense, and also the start of a career that I never actually thought was possible.
We're glad you moved here then.
Yes, very.
Ma'am, what about
No,
you?
no, ये जबलपुर की लड़की है.
I've grown up in Jabalpur wanting to be an actress. I had to like convince my parents, and they were not very sure if I would be okay alone. So I had to take a decision. I had to come to Bombay, and Bombay has given me everything. It has given me individuality. It has given me my freedom. It has given me the space where I work. It's home, and I feel, I mean, with all my love, I mean, I've grown up in Jabalpur, but Bombay is like my home.
And she didn't tell you the most important part.
Which is?
She ran away from home to come to Mumbai.
Oh.
That was the juicy
I
part.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing engineering. My dad wanted me to be an engineer. I did not, obviously. So I did my engineering 4 years, and then I tried convincing him, and I said, no, you cannot. So I had to take, I had to...
More power to you.
Yeah.
Very good.
More
She
power
is.
to
She's
you.
very good.
Thank you.
Wow.
I mean, not that I'm trying to say कि सबको भाग जाना चाहिए.
Thank God.
But
वो भी
sometimes,
डर रहे.
sometimes you have to make a decision,
Yeah.
you know, for yourself.
I'm from Bombay. Like
Yeah.
my whole world was in a 5-kilometer radius. My school, my college, my friends, everything
Right.
is in like a 5 to 10-kilometer radius. And my life never went anywhere else. When I became an actor, that is when I met people from everywhere. I traveled for my work, and I met people from all over the world. And the flavor that they bring to my life, and I'll always be thankful for that. But I am so fortunate that I live here, and I'm from here, and I get to work here and do everything here. I do need a break sometimes to go out of Bombay, because Bombay is like your brain doesn't stop. Like I noticed that the second my flight lands in Bombay, the doors open and my brain goes and as soon as I'm taking off from Bombay, my brain just quiets down.
I love Mumbai. I couldn't stay anywhere else in the world. I mean, when I'm here, I grumble about the traffic, grumble
Like all of us.
noise and all that, and 10 days away from Mumbai, I say, where is my traffic? Where is my lack of oxygen? All of
I
that.
need dust, I'm
But
clean.
you know, apart from that, you know, it is her resilience. It is really Mumbai's resilience that keeps me connected, and her cosmopolitan nature. Unfortunately, a lot of attempts are being made to take away that cosmopolitan the nature of Mumbai, but it can't happen because the people from everywhere, and they identify themselves as Mumbaikars.
Yeah,
first, which is the
everyone,
way
yes.
it is.
For me, it was the opposite. I actually left Mumbai for 27 years.
Interesting.
And I love my south and the smell of the filter coffee. But in the morning, 5 a.m. air,
How do you like
which
the
is
smell
very
of the
unlike.
nalas in Bombay?
I do. I love it. I think it's just like ma'am said, the exposure, the different kind of people living here. It's a step up, I think, because you have all kinds of people living here. But saying that, I did have a wonderful 27 years outside.
Recently, when I met an actor, she told me that it's unfortunate, but there's still a part of the industry that functions with the mindset of hero kaun hai. But today, I'm sitting here with the cast of Dabba Cartel, a producer who's championing a female-led narrative, right, which kind of also helps us redefine these narratives and these conversations. Do you, as actors and as producer, do you guys feel like this is a mindset the industry still harbors somewhere? Or it's still slowly changing, but a long way to go?
When we set out to create a show, we did have this idea in mind that we wanted it to be a story about women, and particularly women in crime, because I felt that was missing. But while I sit here and say that, I also don't want people to look at this show as if it's a show about women. I want us to get to a stage where where it's not really about the gender, it's just about the storytelling.
Absolutely.
And that's been a really difficult thing to get people to kind of understand. And when we can get to that stage in life, that's the ultimate aim. But I understand that that's a journey, and with each show and with each step, we are making progress. If we have to highlight that this is a show about women for now, if we have to highlight that I'm a female creator, then we have to do that for a while until we get to where we want to get to. But I do understand the importance of highlighting it. I do understand that there are many conversations that we need to have until we get to that point.
I think it's these conversations and narratives like that are being done, that why we are progressing in the smallest way possible, because people are asking the questions.
Yes.
There is a conversation about it.
Yes.
So,
but I also want to take this opportunity to discuss that the director of this show, Hitesh Bhatia, when you are talking about female gaze, and when you are talking about female characters, when you are talking about the LGBTQ community, when you are talking about nuanced relationships and handling things with extreme care and sensitivity, when we were putting the show together, for him to take these relationships and deliver them in such a beautiful way, it's if we're pointing out that there's a female creator and a female cast, we also need to understand that then a male director has handled this situation, the female gaze, in such a beautiful way, because there's such a need to take certain relationships and stereotype them and show them in a certain way that people imagine you would show them. But it's so beautiful and it's so delicate, and I don't even know if he understands what a beautiful job he's done with it.
I'm sure after this he will.
I've told him that.
And once the world tells him that.
Yes.
But what was the first reaction when you were being offered this character to essay? Because it's very different from what everyone's done in the past.
I would like to answer this seriously. But the fact is कि daughter-in-law का हुक्म था, बेटा produce कर रहा था, मेरी ये औकात ही नहीं कि मैं ना कैसे.
She didn't have a choice.
So that was it, really.
She did.
You're in the... Yes, of course.
Actually, the conversation with Shabana was the quickest.
Really?
When we first started doing this, we had Drug Cartel, Shabana Azmi. Those were the first things on the whiteboard. And I remember telling Farhan, I want Shabana for this show. And he's like, I think that's a great idea. That's awesome. I remember during the lockdown, my father-in-law, who was not my father-in-law at the time, was asking me questions about what I'm working on. And I said, it's a show about this cartel. And he said, you have your cast right here. And I died because he didn't know that actually I wanted Shabana for the show. When pitched her the idea, I think it was like a 5-minute conversation. I don't even know if she listened. She just said, okay, yes.
Did you
let's
listen?
do it.
You didn't.
And she didn't. No.
But let other people not get ideas that I also behave like that. Every project. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. This is nepo, nepotism. In reverse.
Completely.
In reverse. Yeah.
I have fallen in love with Raji while playing her. While I was playing Raji, I remember there were moments where I realized she's more than this. She's just more than a simple, sweet, homely girl. She's resilient. She's also ambitious. And when thrown in situations, which you'll see in further episodes, she just blooms. Also, I think as Shalini and Raji, even I did not know that Raji had so much depth. I have fallen in absolute love with Raji by the end of the episode.
Nice.
These are the scripts you wait for, right?
Yeah.
For me, Varuna was a simple character which was layered in a very complicated fashion. And I found that the USP of her character, because what I've done down south I've always played a crusader, running a government school, or playing a deaf and mute, or various kind of roles. But I feel this was just a simple woman out there who was complicated in many layers. And somewhere it resonated with me also, because I've been a working woman who's married and then got back to work. I had a great connectivity with the character.
I had no time to process Shahida at all. I was called 4 days before shoot about the show. 1 a.m. I gave my audition in a room quickly, and in the morning there were questions being asked, are you free? I'm like, yeah, Netflix, Excel, Shabana Azmi, Gajraj Rao, yes.
Yes, of course.
Like, no brainer,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I'll do it. And I went into the reading room and I read from the 5th episode because they'd all done the first 4 episodes. I had no clue what I was reading, I just didn't know. And it so happened that the first day of shoot was starting with my scene.
Okay.
And the first day and first scene was with me. And I was on that set and I'm like, I need to read this whole thing before I start shooting, and I had not.
Right.
Because how do I read everything so quickly? First scene onwards, Hitesh sir just made Shahida so easy for me. I would talk to him only like in a little mawali, like, theek hai, kar lete na sir, and all of that. We just start, that rapport was just built from there.
I had gone to see Rocky or Rani, and once I saw her on screen, I could not focus on the movie at all. Because in my head I was thinking, oh my God, this girl is Shahida, what do we do now?
When I got the call, it was so funny. I was coming back from Karjat, and my car had a flat tire. And I was driving, and all the men of the car were outside looking at the tire, because apparently that's how the tires get fixed faster.
Yeah.
So I was just sitting in the car in the AC, and I'm like, you don't have to get off. And all the men were standing like that, and I was sitting in the AC all by myself, and like that.
Yeah.
And I'm Teda, and I get the call, ma'am, Netflix, Excel show. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, who do I say this to? Who do I tell this to? What just happened?
We of course just spoke about why and what y'all thought of the characters that y'all were offered. But what is the one thing as actors, as producers, that you're very cognizant of or mindful of when saying yes to a script?
Now at this stage, different things really, because I don't need to do anything except that I want to do it. There's no other consideration. When I was younger, then I had to think a project bahut acha hai, the producer's very big, the hero is important, it'll be good for my career. You have other considerations, but I'm sure the younger people do. But today I don't have to do anything. If the money is good, that's a big thing.
Yes, of
I hope everybody is hearing it.
Yes.
I want the moolah. But also, something has to excite me.
Yeah.
And it's largely new, younger directors. I find that take different. I love their passion. Every shot is so important to them that if it doesn't go the way they want, they are willing to commit suicide, and then it is just the end of the world. And here you are seasoned people, arey yaar ho jayega, chalo. You've got into this very complacent thing, and then that passion I just absolutely love. Sometimes it's just something in the character. It's the length of the character is not important for me anymore. But if it says something that challenges me, I keep talking about Rocky or Rani, but I would never have imagined that a role of that kind would come to me, and that also from Karan Johar. I was happy to do it. I cannot say that it is something tangible, but I've always said that Steven Spielberg will cast me, but not Zoya and Farhan. And it turned out to be true. It turned out to be true. What about that? I did Halo before I did anything with them. तो ये जो है ना, ये taken for granted जो है, ये
घर की मुर्गी
तो ये nepotism का उल्टा हिस्सा है. Please देख लीजिए.
Shibani has done it already.
I do want to work with people who want to make a film. Who want to tell good stories. In fact, the other day I got this script and I was discussing with Shabana ma'am. I don't know if you remember, but something I read about this character, and it just felt like it was very, very sexist. Very. Like, why would she want to say something like that? And why would she want to put herself down like that? And initially when I started, I would not think of these things. Not that I'm trying to say I judge my characters, but sometimes, you know, some kind of, like now that I have someone to talk to about that, so I did speak to her about it, and she's like, no, you're not doing it. But at this point, I do want to do a lot of work. And I do want to explore a lot of characters.
I just like the character being real, as close to reality, and to resonate with the common man. A lot of characters, I think most of them are larger than life. And I just like it being as real as it can get.
And I think those are the characters which really age well with time. Those are the characters that are really remembered.
And I think
over
those are the
decades.
tougher performances, you know, where you just have to emote with your eyes or your inner self. And I feel that I just get very touched by reality.
Nice.
And what did you feel about the LV bag being such a prominent part of your persona? Huh? There was an LV bag and they bought a fake one. Okay, they bought a fake one, but it was the biggest thing. कहीं भी जाएगी तो वो है हमारी जगह. I want to say it was a fake one. It wasn't a real.
How do you know?
Real one didn't
Of course
buy.
it was.
She said it the first time. She said, that's a fake one. I'm like, how do you know
I'm
that?
telling you, there's something about the brother and sister and the family that they like to make a bag. Like
Oh yeah, bag
And we all had bags matching our personality.
Yeah.
Obviously, my situation is a little different from the other ladies who are acting in the show. I was on a journey where I was hosting so much and so often, and I got to a point where I felt that at times I was walking on stage without even having read the script. I remember feeling as though, okay, I'm doing this because I'm not being challenged, because it's become second nature for me now. So even if someone wants to do like a briefing call or go over the script or go, it's okay. But I didn't feel like it was for me. I felt like I would just grab it, go on stage, do my work. So I found myself doing this for many, many years, and I realized that I need something that's A, challenging, and B, feeding my soul.
Yeah.
So those are now the things that I look for.
So to more shows that feed your soul than Shibani. To many more.
Yes.
Everybody rightly said, like you do some stuff that feeds your soul, your creative part is happy, the
Yeah.
person inside, whatever that person craves for, they're getting that. They're getting to do different things. Either that or the money. It has to be one of the two. But in both instances, for me, the first approach is very important. If I don't like the people that are speaking to me and the way they are speaking to me, I feel sometimes people don't know how to approach a person. And the way the first few meetings go is very important for me.
Shabana ma'am, firstly, congratulations. 50 years in the industry. 50 successful years in the industry.
Thanks.
So
And
big
what a way to celebrate with a
I
wonderful
know.
show like Dabba
Yes. Wow. And playing a character that you've never done before. So I mean, it just goes to show that you're somebody who's, I think, continue to reinvent.
Thank you.
Ma'am, just looking at the last 5 decades in this industry, when you look at the career that you've had back then and you look at the actors around you today, when you compare the two and you think about, oh, you know, in our times this was different, but now this is a challenge that these actors face, what are some things that come to your mind?
You know that our life was much tougher because all the comforts that are now provided to actors was just not there. I mean, ordinary things like having a bathroom, you know, and you're going behind a tree and this thing yourself. ऐसी कोई चीज़ ही नहीं थी कि स्क्रिप्ट होती है. भाई राजेश खन्ना और मैं, we are doing the first page of the scene not knowing what the second page is because that is being written by Qadir Khan in another studio. So, can you imagine that situation? And now, of course, it's all there. But what I do feel is the youngsters today are doing extremely well. Really no dancing around the trees and all that. They're playing, I'm very proud of the fact that girls are playing substantial characters. They're leading the film. They're getting their money. They've got married, they've had children, and they've come back. All that I find just very fascinating. And I feel that really it is the ecosystem which has changed because of the casting director. Because the casting director is picking up people who are not just heroes and heroines, but they are people with character. You've never seen them. They've been pulled out of the back of Beyond. They're from theatre. They're completely real faces. Earlier, we were content with having stock characters. Kanhaiya Lal ji would do something, Om Prakash ji would do something, Shivraj ji would do something. You didn't think beyond them. And that stock character, contributed to how stock the film was. And today, I think when I meet an actor who is real, I can't dare not to be, because acting really is about reacting. And that challenges you. Today, I don't think any actor would do a part without learning the skill that they needed to for a part.
Yes, you're
I mean, just look at what Rani Mukherjee has done in Black. What has Manisha Koirala done in Khamoshi? एक scene है उसका where she speaks, she's really angry and she speaks to her parents and she says, मैं गैर जिम्मेदार. I was just taken away. I was blown away. I said, wow, she's kept the emotion completely raw, but she's doing with the skill because it's the sign language that she's using. So I have a lot of admiration. I just wish everyone well because, at the moment there's work for everybody of every age. And earlier, मतलब आप सोच भी नहीं सकते थे कि beyond 30 a woman can have a strong character. She was, the stock character. And now you're seeing so many shades, which earlier were left only to the parallel cinema. But today you're seeing it in mainstream cinema, and that's very nice. And I think that's also because the girls who are doing it are demanding it. They are different, they're no longer wanting to be just the appendage to the hero.
So, ma'am, if you had to make a debut today as a young actor in the way the industry is today, how different do you think that would be for your career?
There wouldn't be a question of not having a script, which of course is the most important thing. Then there are lots of things that are very comfortable, which we didn't have, which I'd be very happy to have a vanity van at that time, which I didn't. If you saw what was happening, it would be more challenging and it would not seem so spectacular because everybody is doing that. At the time that I did Ankur, it was just so different from all the movies that were being made then. That's why it became such a, talked about film. So I think this would be a more challenging time, really, to do it. Because there are very, very good actors, both actors and actresses.
So it's also nice, I think, for actors to be able to do different things, be offered different parts. You're not just the leading lady or the lead guy, but now you can be part of a cartel, you can be part of a household.
Absolutely. You can there's no hierarchy. It's not that this person is the hero, this person is the heroine. Everybody has their bit, and I think that also contributes to a lot of what happens backstage. And I think that also helps bringing it on screen when we are all together, that the dynamics work differently.
And I think Dabba Cartel is proof of that as well, from whatever I have seen till now. And I'm certain it continues in the next episodes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you for having
Good luck
us.
for the show. I absolutely love it.
Thank
and
you.
good luck. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
everybody.
Thank you.